Good morning, Cricket. We'll start with a different one. I actually had to water the lavender yesterday a little bit. It was looking droopy. It's the first time I've watered the lavender in 3 years. So it was really hot yesterday, probably unexpectedly hot for it. And so hot that all of my cilantro is bolting, and the lettuce will probably follow in a few days. So everything is coming up nicely. I'm debating on, I just hate to disturb the roots, on putting another grapevine, because this side is so nice and lush, and this side's a little spindly. I mean, I know you're not supposed to have them that thick anyway, but it's an arbor. It's not like grape for wine. It's table grapes. I think they'll be fine. The exciting thing is my first cucumber of the year, and the sad one in the distance that that vine is probably toast. But everything else is looking great. I mean, the kale always looks great. Kale does well here. I have harvested so much lettuce. I've taken lettuce into coworkers. You know, it was 90 degrees yesterday. It's going to hit 90 degrees today. They're about to just bolt and die. So, but my eggplant is starting to flower. Not that I really love eggplant these days. I have a cute little, just outside of the shadow, a cute little baby ladybug. That's one of the early stages, the instars or whatever they're called. More eggplant flowering. Cool. Eggplant's doing its job. Eggplant is encouraging the flea beetles to attack it instead of other stuff. Like it a lot. All the tomatoes are looking great. Even the ones that I heard snaps when I was putting them in because it was windy, still doing really well. Lots of baby tomatoes on there, so no issue. The issue I have had is called birds. So I've done a little bit of netting. Apparently I have ordered real bird netting that I will be strapping up, because the birds come and they've eaten almost all of my beans and all of my peas. The other side, they're just taken off at ground level. Everything's looking good. Potatoes are starting to flower in the back bed, so excellent. Everything's looking good in this bed. I've got some nice sized tomatoes that are starting. Big rainbows and mortgage lifters, and I've got cherry tomatoes growing over that trellis. So again, more lettuce. These are the red romaines. Excellent crop, doing very well. I'm going to keep going until they give up. Probably don't need to make this much, start this many seeds next year. I just threw out a whole bunch. It was older seeds. I didn't know how many would actually do anything. Again, the Amish paste tomatoes. It's kind of amazing. And this is my row of peas. A few runner beans I threw in there. But that's what has happened. And literally, I sat there with Todd yesterday and we watched a bird land right in here, just walk its little tail feathers over and go under, and was looking for peas. Not a battle I've had to have before, but I guess I'm having it this year. So again, all the tomatoes look good. I'm hoping I don't have a jungle, but I may, because I have so many of the peppers that are, I need to string those today. But they're starting to flower and, start to form fruit. So that's awesome. And then these are some runner beans that I need to help train up over this arbor as well. So all good. Like I said, the tomatoes are looking great. They're loving the heat. We're probably going to move these out to a different area. I don't need you to grab onto the tomato. I need you to grab onto this. Wow, it's so uncooperative. Will you come under gently? Let go of the tomato. There you go. There you go. Okay. And grow. I need to train the others up too. So it looks like we've had birds. Birds have taken out the tops of those. I'm hating the birds right now. Oh, and then Todd let Mr. Roo out last night. Mr. Roo decided he wasn't going to come back and go into his coop, which is kind of a small prison in my opinion. And he spent the night rogue off in the trees, and then apparently he's been roaming around today in the backyard. But we have far too many predators for that to last very long. So we've got 3 of the 4 wheels on the big coop that I needed to get a few more bolts to finish up the last one. So we'll finish that next weekend. Then it'll be mobile. Thing is, I have all this fencing that's in the way of bringing said mobile chicken coop over here and putting it in to its spot that we kind of cleared. So, you know, 1 step closer, 2 steps back. So the pollinator bed is doing well. I did throw in some salvia. They're so tiny. You see a little peak of red, but sad. Still haven't cleaned out the pondless waterfall. I do have a pump that I bought a couple years ago for actually transferring water if I was going to like go out and water things, you know, trees and things we're putting in. So I can pump out the 100-gallon basin and then clean out the dead frog that's in there. It's big. I just don't want to do it. Maybe I can convince Todd to do it. He likes frogs. It's not my fault. All the little plantings are doing well. House caps are still good. I'm not sure what happened to this one. It's like something laid down in it. I don't know. I think he'll be fine. But, I've got lots of little, and you're starting to see some of them, a little more size to them. Lots of little amaranth starting, which is good. I would like to see some more amaranth starting and getting some height to it. That's one that I started from seed, so it obviously has a big jump on everything else. Todd said he'd help me with the raised bed this weekend, but it's been in the 90s, unseasonably hot for the second to last weekend of May. Temperatures come back down this evening. A storm's going to blow in. So here's the back side of the bed. What's funny is the potatoes in here have started flowering, but the potatoes I started early, really early, in the greenhouse haven't yet. Tomatoes are doing well. I started a few things from seed to be companion planting. Not everything is coming up. We'll have to see. I do see some stray grass seeds that have germinated. Oh my God. So I'll deal with those. I need to attach you. Another big rainbow. I love the big rainbows. And then that's doing well. And then as you can see, the potato bed starting to flower. And of course, everything else in there is flowering too. So, you know, what can you do? I need to go in there next weekend and just clear out. Actually, I do need to let the kale completely set seed. I didn't know there'd be quite that much profusion of flowering. And then I need to clean out some of the leaves so that the garlic gets a little more sun and, you know, sizes up. I'm down to the two kiwi, the hardy kiwi vines, which is what they are, and that's the trellis I need to put together. And then the 2 grapevines, which may go over into the grapevine bed. And as always, I have a self-seeded rogue lettuce right in the middle of the pathway. It's amazing. And that seed got thrown out like 2 years ago, and they still occasionally like germinate and start up. Hi, Cricket. Is Cricket hunting field mice? I think Cricket is. And then I will leave it with lots of my older lavender, which is really leggy, but if you look down in there, you can see that I've got lots of new growth coming from the center. So I will trim that back in a little bit. There's lavender. The butterfly bushes are coming on. I never did top that one. I might do that later on today. Never did plant out the celery. So sad. Or the chicory. Those are the little salvias in there. And that is the surprisingly very happy lavender in that bed that I was going to plant out. And I probably still will this year because it's turning into a beast in there from one little plant. So, but it just looks too good. I'm going to have to leave it until it finishes blooming. The bees are happy, satiated, and then I may move one of those tubs over here. I still have to run the electrical and the Schedule 40 for it, but one may end up here, and then all of that is self-sown hyssop. Yes, it can be invasive. Aside from that, everything's good. Oh, and what's very exciting is the new magnolias that we put in. The 3 new ones and one of the ones last year that we didn't move because it didn't get waterlogged, all have blooms. One of the flowers is starting to open, and the other 2 that we moved out to be a little less noticeable. I mean, they're alive. They just don't look great. But everything else is doing well. I mean, I'm behind on shipping. I'm behind on a lot of stuff. But the garden is doing quite well, even though the catnip is barely alive. I don't even know what's growing in there. So I think it died back. The winds are brutal here coming off the Blue Ridge, which killed most of my rosemary. It didn't kill the lavender, that's good to know, but the rosemary took a beating. So I may end up trading some things out. May end up being lavender in those 2 pots instead of rosemary. I'm giving them another shot. They've been in there for years, so we'll see. But yeah, the garden is good. The fencing would like to be done, but you know, all in good time. We're not in a hurry. They're not in a hurry. Oh, one thing I did do, even though we have such low pressure, I kept blowing my drip tube. I did finally add the pressure reducer, and it hasn't blown. So that's really exciting. I'm testing it out. If it continues to do that, then I will let that be my primary waterer for the main beds. And it's kind of exciting. Everything's pressurized. So, I mean, I have 2 regular areas where it blows, one of which is under here. You probably can't see it. There's a deep hole where the water blows there, and one on the other side. So if that has finally, you know, been solved, woohoo! Oh, that's another little baby ladybug in an early stage. So cool. and loving nature. And I get my first cucumber today. Perfect little cucumber. I'm going to try to get them earlier. They don't need to get as big as some of them got last year. So anyway, that is the second to last weekend of May. Next weekend is Memorial Day, and garden is going.